Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Shankly Hotel. My name is Lawrence Kenwright, and I'm the owner of Signature Living. Yes? Hi. Hi.
It's been really interesting and exciting seeing all the hotels that you're building and generating. It's going to encourage a lot of staff. You're going to have a huge workforce. How do you propose to sort of deal with this workforce? Because happy staff, happy companies and things like that. So have you got anything set in place to look after all the staff that would be?
So that's a really good question, and that's actually my biggest issue. My issue isn't developing hotels, my issue isn't funding hotels. I mean, they're all issues. My issue is now I can touch everyone every day that's around me. You know, I'm really pleasant to everyone wherever it can be, and you know, I'm talking to as many people as I can. But actually, as you get to Belfasts and Bristols and Cardiffs, and you still want that DNA to be as thick in the centre as what it is out in the extremes, that's the hardest task. So we've sort of used that litmus test really in Belfast. So what we're doing now is we're taking on people who are like-minded. So we're not necessarily saying we need to go and get a hotel manager from Hilton, say, but we need to go and get a person who is a people person who can absorb what we're doing, because we're going in the opposite direction to hotels altogether, by the way. Hotels are conveyor belts, aren't they now? The bev factories, let's cut away all the meat off the bone, let's just have the bone, and let's just be a very basic vanilla operation. And actually, they're going to get swallowed up by Airbnb. So Airbnb comes along, they've got, you know, an apartment, you've got whatever normal hotel that's out there, that's vanilla, 240 square foot, and you got an apartment that's 4, 8, 6, 700 square foot, whatever it may be. You've got a choice of 2 vanilla products. You're probably going to go more to the Airbnb as that goes on. Whereas we've gone to theatre. So it's about how do people that we employ out in the extremes still carry on that thought with theatre. Because I'm not going to be there every single day. And that is the biggest challenge. But I understand it's the biggest challenge and it's top of my agenda.
You're going to have a big workforce, aren't you?
Well, we're 850 now with 650 subcontractors, and we're going to 3,000. So absolutely, that is the biggest issue. Because if we start normalising our product and we start bringing in hotel management and staff from Hilton, say, who are clearly going down a conveyor belt of normality, that's fine. I'm delighted they want to do that. And we're on this conveyor belt of actually, well, it's not a conveyor belt, but we're on this thing of theatre and points of difference and reportable points within the hotel, which isn't just about artifacts and design. It's also about how they're treated. And if you come into Shankly Hotel, you can put it to the test really. When you go downstairs, you know, you're getting greeted by Scousers who are proud to be Scousers, and that's being fed by me. Because I'm a proud Scouser and I want them to be a proud Scouser. And we don't try and sort of take off the rough edges of Scousers. We want them to promote who they are. We want them to talk. We want them to tell people, you know, how proud they are of the city. Yes.
I was also Belfast is like a very small city.
Yeah.
We have a very large problem within the hospitality sector with recruitment.
Yeah.
So how are you going to fear of the competition and take the staff?
We're not necessarily after pre-DNA'd staff. I don't really want someone to come from Hilton, to be honest. Because I might say, this is how we do things, it's amazing, you know, we're non-conveyor belt, we want to embrace, almost cuddle customers and talk to them and find out why they're here and what they want to achieve from their stay. Whereas you just don't get that anymore from hotels. So when I talk to people who are pre-DNA'd, you know, sort of clothed in Hilton, say, and they come to me, oh, it's amazing, you know, I love the idea of what you've got, it's fantastic, I mean, I'm going to do that. But as my noise gets dim inside of them, and then they start thinking about what they should be doing, they just meander back to what they're being pre-taught. So it's not always beneficial to me to take on someone with that view. So we've got cleaners here who are managers, by the way, within 2.5 years, because they're vivacious, they're big, they want to get on with the job, they'll learn as they go. And on saying that, the guys that we chose in Belfast are those type of people. They're almost like little film stars in their own right. You know, they're always taking pictures on Instagram and prancing around and whatever. They're really, really good guys. They're bringing in the best talent themselves, because a lot of people in Belfast are looking at the vanilla products out there, which is very, very samey, and they got us sort of screaming out, doing what we do. And we mightn't be everyone's cup of tea, but we're certainly different enough to sort of bring them in. So I don't think we've got a problem in Belfast, but I think Belfast has a problem in general. especially with Brexit coming on and what's going to happen with staff, because, you know, you don't hear anyone coming to the tables who are from Belfast, really.
Lawrence, you're the first hotelier that's actually set a living wage for the staff.
Yeah.
Do you think that will, well, it's obviously going to upset other hoteliers. Do you think that is going to make a big difference in the trend?
So there's two things. Not only have we set the wage at £9 or about to, we got rid of 0-hour contracts. So when I first come to Liverpool into the hotel sector, I was told in order to be, you know, efficient, you have to have 0-hour contracts. But very soon I realised it's just lazy management. And also it's a very draconian contract. You got people who think they're going to get 16 hours and they end up with 2 or none, and they've got a mortgage to pay. You know, so I don't think it's the right thing to do anyway. From a humanistic play, I don't think it's right. So I think we've got ourselves into a situation where we look after the homeless shelter, we do that, we got rid of 0-hour contracts, we've invited the first union into a hotel. So even though I'm an entrepreneur and a businessman, I'm not one of those guys that forgets the many. So I'm still a Labour guy and I still believe in all that. And I know it probably is a bit strange to hear that when I'm out there doing commercial sort of activities all the time. But for me, if we did get to £9 an hour, going quite political now, the social that's out there, but someone's working and they have to have social to build up their wages, all they're doing is supporting companies. Companies should actually pay that wage. It shouldn't be down to the government to support their wage. And I think that desperately needs to change.
Do you think that changes the dynamic of the business as well and pushes it forward? A lot of hotels, they rely on their staff, yes they do, but give them 0-hour contracts. That doesn't give, if I was working for a hotel and was on 0-hour contracts and decided to go out for a night on the piss, then I'm not going to come in the next day. There's no guarantee there. Do you think that changes the dynamic of the business as a whole for you?
Well, I think we have a lot more loyalty in our business. You know, we are sort of changing the way we run our hotel and the way that we look after homeless shelters, and we get beaten up for that, and we get beaten up for a lot of things. I think there's certainly a dynamic in the business which is about, you know, it's us against the world, and we sort of created that, and I quite like that. I quite like the fight, to be honest. So I think our staff are a little bit more loyal than most, but that doesn't mean to say that our staff have to go out a night on the RAS, that they're going to turn in. We still have our same issues like everyone else. But certainly, you know, first union, hotel, 0-hour contracts have gone, and £9 an hour, I think, is amazing for the economy because it'll come back round in the end.
And from the investor point of view, do you think that makes a stronger structure as well?
So this is where I'm putting my views beyond that of the investors, to be honest. I firmly believe that's the right thing to do. So if that means I've got less on the bottom line, so be it.
I think then you're attracting the right type of investor, actually.
Oh, okay, thank you. Ciao. Yes?
How many people do you employ?
As I said before, 850 work for us directly, 650 subcontractors, but they always work for us, i.e. joiners, sparks, plumbers. And then with the 9 hotels that we're opening, it's normally 150 per hotel. So there's another 1,300 to go on top of that, plus the subcontractors. So actually from a standard start of 10 years, I think now in Liverpool we're going to be bringing in £40 million a year. And Liverpool Football Club brings in 92 or 95 or whatever it may be. So, but no one bring in? He knows I'm a blue, by the way.
What are your plans on floating the company?
It's something we're looking at. Why would we want to float it? It would be so I can stop getting up every morning thinking, you know, I've got to raise another 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, whatever it is. I do believe that we're on a path that is absolutely commercial, that is out there for people to enjoy more than normal hotels, and we just need to get out more of our hotels structured. So I think the first point is the fund that's coming on board will bring certain guidelines to what we do and how we do it. And then the next stage will possibly be that.
If you float though, you're going to lose your values. Yeah,
well then you're into a battle, aren't you? So, and that's probably the main reason why we mightn't. Because I wouldn't want, and you see it all the time, don't you? Like Malmaison was this amazing hotel chain that came to the fore 20 years ago, and I think it got £700 million in debt, and then it got taken over, and then all they done is they cut away, you know, all the flamboyance of the chain, and with that, then it just floated back into normality. And I see how we do things, you know, hotels with theatre, £9 an hour, zero contract, all these sort of things. I see those as flamboyances that will be just chopped away by accountants. And if you're an accountant in the room, I'm really sorry, but that's normally what happens. The first thing that they would do is cut away anything that can be in order to go to the bottom line. And we've just come into the game as not worrying too much about it. I know for a fact we've got to make money. I'm not saying we don't. But wouldn't it be amazing that everyone felt a part of a business that cared? You know, and I don't think there's enough of that going on. Yes. You've had 3 questions, you know. You've more than anyone. Now, come on. No.
David was first to see you after this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
3 strikes and out.
Yeah.
There's some talk in the city about you running for mayor. I wondered if that would create a conflict of interest.
Yeah, there's absolutely no comment out of me on that one whatsoever.